Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my webinar on the Spiritual Menopause Anti-Aging program and how we relieve, renew, and reignite your life through menopause holistically. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to do a webinar. I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes because there are people still signing in, and I welcome you. And let you know, this program is not for everyone. That's why I did this, because I don't want you to come to a consultation not understanding what I do and what it's about. And maybe something you like, yeah, I've been waiting for something like this. I really need it. And that is those are the women I want to talk to that get excited about this, because it really is a one of a kind, very unique program, because my qualifications and my history and my experience are totally different than many other practitioners. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit before we get started with the webinar while people are signing in here. And oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, you're from Florida. Great. Awesome. All right. A lot of people from East Coast, West Coast, doesn't matter where you are. We can work from anywhere. So anyway, I have a unique qualification as a holistic chiropractor that I've been practicing holistically for close to 30 years. And that means that in addition to chiropractic, which I do a special form of chiropractic called activator methods and SOT that works on every little bone in the body, so I can work on carpal tunnel and foot problems, and as well as spinal issues, all very gently. And I have found this to be a very effective technique for joint problems and pain and that people go through. So there may be some times that I will actually refer you to one of my partners out in the field. In addition to that, I've been certified in numerous nutritional types and herbal remedies, and I've done energy healing, all kinds of holistic healing in my practice over those 30 years. And now I incorporate a lot of that into my practice, into what I do. So in addition to that, I also have a counseling degree, so I have a lot of ability to work one-on-one and understand a lot of emotional issues, addiction issues, trauma, PTSD, and that kind of helps a lot with menopause, because during menopause, a lot of these issues resurface. They may have been there kind of in the background, but because of the hormonal imbalance, sometimes they come more to the forefront and they start to become a little more overwhelming. I personally had a very severe case of anxiety during the worst part of my menopause. So I've learned how to handle all of that. And then in addition to that, I'm also a certified spiritual coach with the energy codes. So those are all the things that I incorporate in my program. And like I said, this may not be for everyone, but there are some women that really resonate with what I do, and this is for you. Okay, so that's enough for now. We're going to go ahead and get started with the webinar. So as I mentioned earlier, that this webinar is about how we relieve, renew, and reignite the Spiritual Menopause Anti-Aging webinar. So not only will you relieve all your symptoms from menopause, we'll also renew and regenerate your body and bring back, help reverse your age, your biological age, and reignite the vitality, sexual, and energy that we were born with and that we kind of lose a lot of times during menopause. And I did want to say that, stay tuned. During the webinar, I'm going to give you a promo code to get a discount on our program. So just keep awake. All right, next slide. So this is where a lot of women start. They have all of these symptoms, everything from hot flashes, lightheadedness, headaches, irritability, depression, feeling unloved, which often is just a lack of love for ourselves, a lack of self-love, which then translates into feeling unloved and starting to feel a little bit isolated in your world. A lot of depression, anxiety, mood changes, fluctuations, sleeplessness, difficulty falling asleep or waking up during the night. A lot of tiredness. No matter how much you sleep, you still may feel tired. You may have all kinds of aches and pains in muscles and joints. And sometimes you develop facial hair that you never had before. And, that could be kind of upsetting to a lot of us. And some women lose their hair on their head. You start having a lot of either too much sexual feeling or not enough as your hormones start fluctuating if you're in that stage. Dry vagina, uncomfortable intercourse for various reasons, especially because of the dryness and the changes in the tissue in our vaginal area, and a lot of urinary incontinence and frequency. So if that relate to you, this is for you. So age-wise, most women will be between 45 to 75, and we do want to go up higher because you still have hormonal issues later in life that often are not addressed by the traditional medical profession. And when they if you were on HRT and you come off of it, then what happens then? You still could have hormonal fluctuations, and I can definitely tell you that's true. You have a lot of experiencing of physical and emotional effects, like we mentioned in the previous slide, hormonal imbalances. You've tried all kinds of things. So you've tried prescription, you've tried hormones, you've tried weight loss programs, psych meds, and either they have not helped or they're not helped enough, or you didn't like the way they made you feel. And sometimes they're contraindicated working with each other because a lot of these meds, especially psych meds, are not tested with hormones and hormonal fluctuations, so they work differently on women during this stage of life. So you will not only relieve, but also revive, reverse your biological age, and reignite your passion and purpose. And that's another thing too, is that we often have a complete change in what is important to us as we go through menopause and midlife. They call it the midlife crisis with men, but women, definitely we experience it just as much, maybe if not more. So I did want to take a minute to thank you for being here, and I really appreciate if you're listening to this webinar, and it shows that you're committed and that you're ready for a change and ready to break free of these negative physical and emotional patterns in your life. And I'm going to show you how we do that. And as I mentioned, a lot of us have a lot of physical symptoms, but we also have the emotional. We have this overwhelmed sensation that there's just so much going on. We don't know what to deal with first. We don't know who to go to. And there's often a lot of anxiety. And as I mentioned, PTSD can become more prominent, or it may have been certain traumas that start to resurface that may not have been diagnosed as PTSD, but they still may be the symptoms very similar. And it's often a lot of irritability that, because you don't feel good, the word hangry comes to me. You're hungry and angry all at the same time, and it just makes you really irritable. So you may feel like this. So I want to talk about some of the fears and myths around holistic care, spiritual care, and what is true, what's not true. So one of the things that I hear is people say, I really love my doctor. I'm not switching doctors. Well, I understand that. And you may really love your doctor and believe in medical care, but sometimes you kind of have this inkling that your issues are not being dealt with. You're not being looked at as a whole person, as a whole woman. They may be treating an individual condition and not really looking at the big picture. And a lot of times I hear women say, they tell me that I'm fine, and I feel like crap. Why is that? And I completely understand. I've been through that myself. And there are a couple of things I want you to consider. One, medical mistakes and misinformation is rampant. That is why thousands and thousands of people die from medical mistakes, both in hospital and outside of hospital, from prescription medications, from hospital care, because a couple of things. So one of the things I have listed here is information changes so rapidly that many doctors can't or don't keep up with the latest research. They're extremely busy. They have a large patient base. They haven't made it a priority to also keep up, and they get a lot of information from the pharmaceutical companies that they themselves are either not telling the truth or, pushing their brand of drug. So, and all medical care is fraught with potential side effects. There is no medication that doesn't have side effects. Some, of course, much more serious than others. And I personally have made it since I was in my 20s, I have decided to be on as minimal amount of medication and use medical care for what it's good for, which is one, diagnosis. So getting your testing and that kind of stuff done and diagnostic. But in terms of treatment, I really have shied away from getting medical treatment. And I'm not going to go into a lot of stories now, but pretty much every condition, I'll just tell you one real quick, is that I had been on blood pressure medication. I had been on, my blood pressure went up really high during a time when I was going through a lot of difficulty with my daughter who was addicted to meth and heroin, and my blood pressure shot up. So I didn't want to take any chance of having a stroke or, that actually had greater negative effects. So I decided to start on blood pressure medication. I had been on it for like 8 years. Well, I recently had gotten tested again for my hormone balance and found things that were not right. I started on some herbal meds, and for the first time in 8 years, my blood pressure is completely normal. And I found out about this when I forgot to bring my blood pressure medication with me on vacation for 4 days, came home, and it was perfect. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. So I can tell you pretty much anything that can be treated with nutritional, herbal, lifestyle, all holistic. There are a lot of different factors. I'm not going to go into all of the things that we do, but this is a myth. So the other thing is testing is often not complete and inaccurately interpreted. And this happens a lot with thyroid issues. It happens a lot with estrogen. Women who are estrogen dominant will not show up properly on testing. And that's why we do a 24-hour test called the Dutch Complete. And I won't go into a lot of detail on that, but there are reasons that you would want to have a different kind of test especially when a doctor is telling you that you're okay when you know you're not okay. Okay, and how about this one? Natural care isn't strong enough to help with my mental emotional issues. Your issues are just so much worse than anybody else's. And you don't understand how herbal care, probably because, doctors don't understand it and they have said that to you and you grew up that way. And the last client who told me that went on psych meds, told me that, what I did wasn't strong enough. And a few weeks later, I asked her how she was doing, and she was so much worse. They made her physically ill. She had convulsions, dizziness, night sweats. And that is what I was saying, too, about some of these psych meds have not been tested with hormonal women that are having hormonal issues. And that was one of the things that I thought would probably happen with her. So she did stop taking those and fell back into depression. Still doesn't agree that natural care is going to be helpful, but I know it would be. Psych meds and hormonal imbalance just are at odds with each other. And mild to moderate anxiety and depression respond extremely well to the natural holistic care that we do. Okay, and this one, myth number 3. A lot of women think that HRT or BHRT is going to solve all their problems. And a lot of times women do feel much better when they get on that. And unfortunately, with some, it may be a temporary feel good because it does replace something that hasn't been there and they start feeling better. But it may not, I don't really feel like it treats the whole woman. We don't really get to the bottom of why this has happened. And a lot of times the severe reduction in estrogen can be reversed and it can be normalized through other means. And the other problem is that's gaining some understanding now, and but I don't think most medical doctors do, is the estrogen dominance. And some of those symptoms include weight gain, which could be around the abdominal area, hips and thighs, and it could also be water weight. Some women just get bloated, brain fog, insomnia, fatigue, Hashimoto's, and a lot more. And it really requires more comprehensive testing and understanding to balance these hormones properly. And that's what we do differently. So what is your escape plan? The truth is that actually natural medicines usually work much better because they're so much safer, and you may have to work with the dosage, you may have to stay on it a little longer to get the same benefit, but in the long run, it's going to help fix your body from the inside out, not from the outside in. And some of them are proven highly effective for hormonal balance and almost all the symptoms of menopause, and like I said, without side effects. The important thing here is that you need to work with someone who is knowledgeable and educated to be your guide, because it's very difficult to do this all on your own. You may try this, try that, that may make you feel a little better, but you're really just hitting it in the wind and not really knowing if you're correcting the problem. So after our program, you're going to feel so much different than you do now. You're going to start loving your life. You're going to be so much healthier. You're going to feel empowered because you're going to get all these tools that are going to help you learn how to heal yourself. You're going to feel like you have some control over your life. And I think that is probably one of the biggest benefits, even beyond the relief, because the relief definitely happens for almost everyone. That is not the hard part. The hard part is really shifting your beliefs and your understanding of life, that you have so much more potential than you're using because of the hormonal imbalance does kind of put you back and set you back, and all the beliefs that we've had in our life. So we want to help you learn how to create truly a magnificent life and a life of your dreams. It starts with making the first decision. So I'm going to go over now what is included in this healing package that does the relief, the reviving, and the reigniting, because there's really quite a bit that's involved, and it's also a matter of time and us allowing you to do this at your own pace over a period of time. The magic key to all of it is that it's comprehensive holistic care. So we're addressing the causes of your physical and emotional issues while relieving the symptoms naturally. So sometimes you have to treat the symptoms, and that's okay, but we're doing it naturally. we're also then getting to the core of the fundamental imbalances that started the whole process of ill health to begin with. So I know this sounds really easy, and it's not that easy, but it does work. Let me give you a couple of examples. So how about our next person has gone through a lot of emotional suffering, depression, anxiety, PTSD, and it really worsened her hormonal imbalance. And our first testimonial is from Rebe. Let's take a look at that. So for Rebe, we did a customized program of the hormonal balancing, natural supplements, coaching, and self-healing tools. And she improved significantly. So she said, Manon is unlike any other professional I've gone to. I've tried many different therapists, coaches, healers without a lot of benefit. I never felt comfortable, and it was difficult to be vulnerable and honest. But Manon creates an environment where you feel you can be open and not judged. She's understanding, knowledgeable, patient, and kind. And because of my past trauma, I was anxious and depressed. I felt completely hopeless. It was difficult to make decisions because I was so stuck in my head. I highly recommend this program to everyone, and I'm so appreciative of all the self-healing tools and guidance that she's given me. So those are some key things that I had mentioned earlier, that the resurfacing of past trauma. She was having a lot of difficulty making decisions about some very important things in her life, about relationships, about work. Really, there were quite a few different things, and she was very unhappy and overwhelmed because of that. And in allowing her to basically calm her nervous system down and start getting her brain to calm down, to be able to make decisions and connecting that mind, body, spirit, she was able to use that to make better decisions and get unstuck, basically. And it really made a big difference in her life, even today. And this was last year. Okay, and here's Roz, a completely different situation where she had been suffering from multiple addictions. She was a little bit older, was having problems with cigarettes and marijuana. She was in a very codependent relationship, and she was starting to have some mental and physical health issues. And here are her words. So she said, Dr. Manon is amazing. I've learned so much in this program about myself, how to interact with others, and about how important my mind, body, and spirit alignment is to health and well-being. I came to realize that the negative circuits between our body and brain are what drive us to our repetitive and addictive behaviors, and that we neglect to include our heart brain when it comes to reconciling our feelings and healing. I learned how important it is that we take care of our body and listen to what it has to say. I can't recommend them enough for anyone dealing with negative patterns, addictive behaviors, and unhealthy relationships that are looking to create a new, healthier, happier life and identity for themselves. So today, Roz is actually in a really great relationship and had moved to a different area, had all new friends. She is much happier and outside of herself than she was. She was starting to be very self-isolating, and she decided to retire. I think work was probably part of what was getting to her, and she was able to stop smoking and start taking care of her health. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed with emphysema, and she was at the early stages when she finally gave up the cigarettes, and she's been able to live a normal life thanks to her ability to start taking care of herself. And I only wish it had happened earlier. So if you're not familiar with holistic healing, what it does is emphasize the interconnectedness of your mind, body, and spirit. And when one of those aspects is out of balance, significantly, it manifests as either physical illness, emotional distress, mental turmoil. And by this program addressing all the dimensions of our being, that's really the only way that we can achieve true healing and well-being. So that's what I was saying about healing from the inside out, rather than just trying to take medications or the typical ways that we try to heal things, because we don't really understand sometimes how important it is to develop that interconnectedness. So this is our blueprint for how we help people heal themselves. We're not doing the healing, you're doing the healing. We have a unique blend of science and spirituality, and we use the latest research, and everything that we do is based on the latest research, generally in the last 5 years, and we combine it with spirituality. So we do comprehensive hormonal testing and hormonal balancing, and you get your first supplements all as part of the program. It's all included. We also do a full symptom survey of your entire body, and we'll make recommendations on other things that you might need to take or help to enhance, like let's say you have digestive issues or you have something that's maybe a little bit outside of the hormonal realm and it's causing a lot of problems. We're going to help you work on that as well. Multiple self-healing tools that you'll use forever. Just as an example, one of them is heart math, which helps you connect your heart brain with your thinking brain, which makes a huge difference in helping your hormonal balance with anxiety and overwhelm. Just an unlimited amount of improvement that can come from that. Meditation, EFT, all kinds of self-healing tools that we're going to teach you that you'll be able to use forever. We do relationship and life coaching. So each woman is unique in the problems and things that are going on in their life, and we're going to help you work through that. We have a customized lifestyle program with diet, exercise, breathing that we're going to work with you if you need. Some women actually need menus because they don't really know what they're supposed to be eating or how to eat on a regular basis. So we're going to help you work through that. Spiritual development training, anti-aging. So this is one thing, like towards the end of the program, we'll talk a little bit, we're going to do some work on anti-aging. And I have found that on the internet, especially on YouTube, there are a lot of things that are being promoted for anti-aging that have only been tested on mice. And they're selling it for extravagant amount of money, and people are buying it and taking it, and maybe it does help, I don't really know, but you know what, I would prefer to be taking something that actually has been tested on humans. And there are quite many things that I do for anti-aging support that have been tested, that are stood the test of time, and that will definitely help you reverse your biological age. And this is all done in a set 12 self-paced course modules, and we give you 1 year of coaching support. So we're going to make sure that you get well and you get to a point where you can really be empowered to do this on your own. So, what's our secret sauce? I'm going to tell you. These are the 3 most important parts of our secret sauce. Treating the whole woman, not the condition or individual body parts. This is huge. Customizing the program to your needs, because every woman has a unique body, has had a unique history, has unique desires and unique things that they want. It's unique in combining the spirituality with the latest scientific research. So it really doesn't matter what your problem is. It could be weight, it could be anxiety, it could be hot flashes, it could be all of the above. They will all respond to this program because we're treating the whole person. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop blowing in the wind, trying all kinds of herbs, trying this that some person recommended to you, or trying different medications, practitioners, without having a guide that really understands all of this, that can help lead you through this process? Or are you ready to get into a program that's going to really nurture you back to health and help heal you from the inside out, so that you can regain the joy, the emotional freedom, and the physical well-being that is really all of our birthright. That's what I'm here to do for you. So I know it's scary to try something new, but I do want to tell you that I am not going to accept, before I have accept anyone into our program, I'm going to make sure that I can help you. There's no reason for me to spend my time and effort and have you be unhappy, have you not get well, if I don't think I can help you and we're not a good fit. And I remind you that this is a comprehensive program with a hormonal testing, the supplements, the self-healing tools that you'll use forever. And it also includes a heart math inner balance trainer, which I'll explain to you on another seminar. We're talking about heart math, relationship and life coaching, customized lifestyle program of diet, exercise, breathing, and more, spiritual development training, anti-aging support, and a full year of coaching support. Okay, so don't forget, this is the first time we're offering this program for a full year at the same price as our 12-week original program, because we found that change takes time. We got great results in the 12-week program, but we want to even get better. So we also have added 6 additional bonuses, and they include all the supplements you need to start your program, a heart math inner balance trainer, self-love journal, guarantee of improvement, personal human design chart and coaching session, and promotional discounts to our school.com members. So if you are not a member, head over to school.com/menopause-anti-aging so that you can join school and get your promo discount, and you can sign up for the program after you do that. We do offer a payment plan option, and we are only accepting 5 women this month, so act now because we're getting ready to start a new class. All right, next slide. So thank you for participating in our webinar today. We appreciate you all for being here. And again, menopause.askmeanythingaging.com. You can sign up and we'll do a consult. You can ask me any questions. I'll ask you questions, and we'll just make sure we're a good fit for each other. So I hope you have a great day. Namaste.